How do you get better at flirting? A guy told me that he liked my shoes and asked where I'd gotten them. We were in a bowling alley. I always just thought of it as a game, but one you're not really trying to win. It's just fun to play. When you find an opponent that makes it more fun is when you know you're doing it right. If not, then concede the match and move on. Good at flirting also means recognizing when the other party isn't receptive. If they're answering briskly and killing conversation, cut your losses and move on. Start by believing in yourself. Confidence is key when it comes to flirting. Remember, the person you're trying to flirt with is just a regular person just like you. They have their own quirks and daily routines. They're not some untouchable figure. Realizing this can help you relax and be more natural in your approach. Flirting isn't about impressing someone. It's about connecting with them on a human level. So, take a deep breath. Remember that they're just like everyone else, and let your true self shine through. Listening more than you talk is a powerful tool in flirting. People genuinely appreciate when they feel heard and understood. When you focus on what the other person is saying, it shows that you're interested in them as a person, not just as a potential romantic interest. This makes the conversation flow more naturally and helps build a real connection. Plus, by listening, you'll pick up on details that can guide the conversation in a more meaningful direction. Remember, it's not about dominating the conversation, but about creating a space where both of you can engage and connect. Perhaps forget flirting. Just talk to people and be interested in what they say. Ask real questions, listen to the answers, work on improving your feel for the flow of conversation. But the trick is to actually be interested in what they are saying. Same way you'll get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. People don't really care that much if you say something embarrassing or weird, so you shouldn't either. What I've learned is that most girls actually enjoy it when you talk about whatever's on your mind, even if it's a bit goofy or offbeat. It often leads to genuinely interesting conversations that stand out from the usual boring small talk they get from guys trying to flirt. Being yourself, even if that means being a little quirky, can be refreshing and shows that you're comfortable in your own skin. It's this authenticity that can make your interactions more memorable and enjoyable. Practice makes perfect, and flirting is no different. It's a skill like any other, and the more you practice, the better you'll get. Start by paying attention to what works and what doesn't. If you're starting later in life, it's a good idea to find a place to practice that isn't your workplace or a space related to your favorite hobby. Why? Because when you're just starting out, there's a good chance you'll make mistakes or feel awkward, and you don't want those moments to happen in environments that are important to you. Instead, find a setting where the stakes are low. A place where you can experiment with flirting without worrying too much about the outcome. It could be a casual social setting, a local event, or even an online platform where you can practice your conversation skills. The key is to keep trying, learn from each experience, and gradually build your confidence. Flirting, like any skill, takes time to develop. So be patient with yourself and remember that every interaction is a step toward improvement. And focus on being a fun person to be around, not trying to sleep with people. People see through that shit and will think you're a fucking creeper. Greetings, fair maiden. I approach thee with romantic intent. Focus on understanding your own personality and preferences first. When you know yourself well, you can seek out people whose profiles and interests align with yours. Flirting becomes more natural when there's a genuine connection and shared interests, making the interaction feel more synchronized and meaningful. Rule 1, be attractive. Rule 2, don't be unattractive. If you are a woman, find a guy that you like and walk casually past him. Allow your hand to brush against his lower back as you walk by. When he looks, look back and give him a little signal to approach you. And he will. A friend of mine does this, and it has a 95% success rate. If you are a man, just be rich. and funny. Rich and funny works really well. Touching women without consent is no good. Edit. It seems this isn't self-evident, so I'll state it here. No flirting approach is one size fits all. Great flirting and situational. So of course this approach isn't going to be the best approach for everyone, and that's okay. Confidence is everything. When you focus on having fun rather than trying to impress, flirting becomes much easier and more enjoyable. Relax and enjoy the moment. People are naturally drawn to those who are comfortable and having a good time. Step 1. Decide you don't want to have sex. Or rather that sex isn't the end goal of every conversation with the opposite sex. Step 2. Roll with the punches and learn to laugh at yourself. Step 3. When people flirt, respond in kind. It's good banter. The more it happens, the better you get. Flirting is a lot like comedy, in my experience. You gotta have high enough self-esteem to not get easily offended when someone makes fun of you, and you have to have the quick wit necessary to come up with clever responses. This takes practice and effort. Also, if you see flirting as fun in and of itself, instead of seeing flirting as a pathway to sex, then you get good at flirting. And that's the story of how I became a massive flirt and also a virgin. If someone can tell me how to turn flirting into sex, you have my gratitude. Being curious and asking questions is a great way to improve your flirting skills. Showing genuine interest in the other person makes them feel valued and heard. Instead of trying to impress, focus on learning more about them, what they like, what makes them tick, and what they're passionate about. This approach not only helps keep the conversation flowing, but also builds a deeper connection. Flirting is much more about creating a bond than just making clever remarks. So stay engaged and let your curiosity guide the interaction. ITT, all the advice for a shy person is basically telling them to not be shy. Practice staying calm and composed when trying to say something charming. It's normal to feel nervous, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Focus on your words and the conversation, and over time, you'll feel more confident without turning bright red. Listen to comedy podcasts, especially if they have guests. They are the best at banter, and a sense of humor is the key. Just by listening, you will get skills and confidence, as well as pick up many conversational techniques. When I started loving myself and truly understanding who I am and what I need, everything changed. Knowing my worth and being clear about what I want gave me the confidence to go after it without fear. Flirting became easier because I wasn't seeking validation from others. I was comfortable in my own skin and knew exactly what I was looking for. This self-assurance made my interactions more genuine and less pressured, allowing me to connect with others on a deeper level. It's amazing how much easier things become when you start with self-love and clarity about your own desires. Sincerity is key. Being honest, without being pushy or relying on cliches, makes all the difference. People appreciate genuine interactions, so just be yourself and let the conversation flow naturally. Authenticity always stands out. Don't start a conversation with the goal of getting them in bed. Start a conversation with the goal of having a good conversation. Talk to women you like as much as possible. Start conversations in the DMV, public library, supermarket, dentist's office, wherever. Expect rejection plenty and just don't get discouraged. You're eventually going to understand what works for you. Practice in front of a mirror until you can charm even your own reflection. It might sound funny, but it's a great way to build confidence and refine your approach. When you can make your mirror blush, you'll feel more prepared to flirt with real people. Practice is definitely important, as learning how to read people is a skill that takes time to master. However, by far, the most important thing, at least for guys, is confidence. Now, this does not mean cockiness, and a lot of guys get this confused. You can't walk around acting like you're some big shot who demands attention. Rather, you need to come off as not insecure and confident in yourself. This means being humble but sure of yourself. Speak like you're sure of what you're saying, but that it's okay if they disagree. It's also a good idea to not approach women with the direct aim of picking them up. Being genuinely friendly is good, but don't seem too attached. Go up to a girl, talk to her for a couple minutes, and then leave the scene in a way that seems genuine. If you follow them around, you seem desperate or worse, creepy. Even if they seem interested already, leaving the scene works great, as it makes you seem like you have other obligations, which for some women can feel like a challenge. Also, don't fall for the girls don't like nice guys trap. Women love nice guys, but they don't like insecure guys. Be kind, but make it clear, through your actions, that you do not need her to have a good time. If she sees that you are successful on your own, she'll be much more inclined to find you attractive. And if a girl doesn't want your attention, act like it doesn't bother you even if it does. There's nothing worse than a guy who gets angry because a girl isn't interested. Your lack of care towards that situation might even make the girl think, why doesn't he care? And lead to her being interested in you after all. Think Trixie Tang from The Fairly Odd Parents. However, in this scenario, don't approach her again. No means no, and if she does find you interesting, she'll let you know. Okay, so I realise that this has kind of become a guide to approaching women you are interested in, rather than actually flirting. But the advice here should improve anyone's game. When it comes to flirting, the confidence thing still applies. And oh yeah, make fun of them in a joking way and see if they reciprocate. If they do, you're already halfway there. Good luck to everyone, I hope this helps, LOL. Crank as many out as necessary and forget about sex for a minute. Replace flirting with talking to people. Look up the Ford method. Remember people's fucking names. Talk to as many new people as possible, all genders, whether you're attracted to them or not. 100 new people in 6 months is perfectly doable. If you can do that, flirting and sex will naturally follow. Flirting should be fun, so keep it playful and light-hearted. The key is not to overthink every word or action. Just go with the flow and enjoy the interaction. When you're relaxed and having a good time, it naturally puts the other person at ease as well. Over-analysing can make you come across as stiff or nervous, so focus on the moment. Be spontaneous and let the conversation develop naturally. Playfulness makes the connection feel more genuine and helps both of you enjoy the experience. Think of flirting as a fun game rather than something serious. Approach it with a mindset of curiosity and playfulness, and be genuinely interested in the person you're talking to. The goal is to make the conversation enjoyable for both of you, not to impress or win them over. When you focus on having fun and creating a lively, engaging interaction, it naturally takes the pressure off and allows you both to relax. This approach helps build a connection that feels effortless and enjoyable, turning the whole experience into something memorable. I think it's probably crucial for people to maintain an extremely light touch when flirting with strangers, and even more so when flirting with acquaintances. I'm an older male, but when I was middle-aged, I became extremely circumspect with regard to flirting. I basically just dialed it back to being friendly and polite, and being very discreet about complimenting anyone in any sort of manner that might be construed as having a sexual context. Now that I'm certifiably old, I've allowed myself to relax a little bit. Just a little, if only because there's so little chance that any young woman would take it seriously. But my antennae are always up with regard to exuding creepiness, which is something I generally try to avoid. Being genuinely interested in the other person is key to successful flirting. Ask questions that show you're curious about their thoughts and experiences, listen actively, and respond with a blend of humour and thoughtful compliments. This approach not only makes the conversation more engaging, but also helps build a deeper connection. Confidence is something you build over time, so don't hesitate to step out of your comfort zone and take a chance. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel, and soon you'll find that flirting becomes second nature. There are plenty of training centres that offer courses on flirting and social skills. If you're serious about improving, consider signing up for a course. It can provide structured guidance and practice in a supportive environment, helping you build confidence and refine your approach. 1. Go outside. Easier said than done, right? 2. Talk to women. Sounds impossible, but it's not. It may feel daunting at first, but the more you put yourself out there, the more comfortable you'll become. The hardest part is often just taking that first step. Once you're outside and starting conversations, you'll realize it's not as scary as it seems. It's all about breaking down those mental barriers and giving yourself a chance. Remember, everyone feels nervous at first, but practice makes it easier over time. Have a ton of money in your bank account. Stop being scared of rejection. How do you get to not be scared of rejection? Get rejected a lot, and/or by someone you really like or love. Then you stop caring at flirting with randos also. Starting off by telling someone they're pretty handsome is a great first move. You don't have to come up with a smart pickup line. Just be playful. My to-do list. Step 1. Google what is flirting. Step 2. Look for YouTube tutorials or any guidebooks. Step 3. Practice. Step 4. Give up and abandon all hope, knowing your bloodline ends with you. As the old adage says, the secret to flirting is to be extremely good-looking. Smile and make eye contact. It's the easiest way to connect. Get comfortable with rejection and find ways to make people laugh. Once you're operating with confidence, not arrogance or entitlement, and humour, everything else will fall in place. If you are a woman, just speak the same language they do, and sometimes that isn't even necessary, just exist near them, breathe near them, be near them, LOL. If you are a man, be rich and good-looking. If you have these, you can say or do anything, and nothing you could do would really turn them off of you, LOL. So to simply, if you are a woman, just be near men. If you are a man, just make bank, LOL. Don't try to be too cute if you don't know what you're doing. Just be straightforward and have the confidence to be upfront about what you want. Lightness and genuine fun. You're not executing a plan to get laid. You're playing around with someone who might enjoy playing around with you. You can take it or leave it. They can take it or leave it. There's no commitment required, no drama if they don't reciprocate. Just move along. If they join you in that safe space, you're still not trying to get laid. You're trying to engage them in some playfully antagonistic banter or some slightly snarky mutual compliments and smiles. They want to see if you catch what they're dealing out, if you're actually paying attention and trying to join in, or if you're just walking though a checklist that you hope ends in sexy times. They want to gauge if you're relaxed and confident, which suggests calm comfort, or if you've got an agenda, which suggests potential red flags. There might come a point in the interaction where either party suspects that they're interested or open to something more than playful, but even that may be nuanced and isn't just a straight-to-bed declaration. Your looks and smoothness of course help, but are way less important than you think. Don't drag your mental models of your self-worth along with you. Let the interaction and the other party involved give you clues about how they feel about you and believe them. An interesting and fun person who actually listens is very compelling, even if it doesn't lead straight to knocking panda dunks. Plus, you should really be looking at the long term. Flirting might fundamentally change how the other party thinks about you, and this could lead to different, more connected interactions in the future, after they've marinated on it a while. Being nice and friendly with anyone is going to increase your connection with them. Flirting just adds a layer of I'm paying particular attention to you because I'm interested in you. Flirt with ugly people and work your way up. 1. Start flirting. 2. Realize you're just making everyone uncomfortable. 3. Stay home and play video games. You already know the answer to this one. Practice makes perfect. Oh, and talk to girls in real life. Messaging doesn't give you a real feel for it. Good luck, stud. I want to add to practice, be willing to walk away. If it's not working, walk away. Do it for its own sake, for the practice, for the fun, not for the results. By aging. The older I get, the easier it gets. It's so easy that I have to try hard not to be perceived as being flirty. I'm not up for any relationship, but my natural personality is inclined towards appearing as if I do want a relationship. I didn't have a clue when I was younger, perhaps because I was actually trying. Honest to God, play some dating sims. It sounds stupid, but they genuinely do teach you some interesting tactics for different personality types and often rely on one of the biggest hurdles for people who want to flirt well. You have to not be a dick. Practice, my boy, practice. Flirting can feel intimidating, but with the right mindset and a bit of practice, it becomes much easier and even fun. Whether you're stepping outside your comfort zone, engaging in playful conversation, or just being your genuine self, remember that confidence comes with time. Keep practicing, stay curious, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're all part of the journey. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And we'd love to hear from you. What's your best flirting tip or funniest flirting story? Share it with us in the comments below.